Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. 3 and out, 8 divisions in 8 days. Let's go. On the training camp turf, the baddest collision on the face of the earth. 32 teams coming hungrier than ever. We smash through the grind and we pull together. Turn up the volume, let the speakers explode. IA Sports Radio, the king of the road. The season premiere is breaking the mold. The summer can hold. NFC week is locked at the door. Now we're crossing the line for the AFC award. 3 and out, the battle lines are drawn. 8 divisions strong, the war is going on. Lock it in today, we're clearing out the way. 8 divisions deep, 8 divisions in 8 days. 3 and out. North to the wild, wild west, east coast to south, putting teams to the test. Stick it to them now, let the trash talk fly. Look them in the eyes under the summer sky. The gridiron is calling, the tape doesn't lie. We're drawing the line where the giants defy. 4 shows for the NFC, 4 for the AFC. Breaking down every single team on the map. You'll see, hear the battle cry call. Direct feed for all that is football. 3 and out, the battle lines are drawn. 8 divisions strong, the war is going on. Lock it in today, we're clearing out the way. 8 divisions deep, 8 divisions in 8 days. 3 and out.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. One more time for the night. One more time for this season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. AFC North Day, the conclusion of the entire 8 divisions in 8 days. Whew, that's a mouthful. Right here on 3 and Out on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Man, we've had ourselves a good one, man. It's a lot. So many great teams, so many great people, so many great things we've been talking about today. Some not so great with some of these teams, but it's all good. Here we are. Let's get it locked and loaded, man, and get right on into the deal. So Oh man, I was telling you, man, this is the fourth and final show of this entire series, the eighth and final show of the whole series, fourth and final of the AFC week or AFC day, really for this year. And again, the final, we've done all of them. 28 teams down, four more to go. So that means it's official conclusion. Ending off with the hardest hitting division in the NFL, what I like to call the AFC North. Man, I love it. It's been a grinder getting through these shows today, but I'm loving it, man. I'm really happy you guys are here with me. So, look, we all know the script this division used to follow year in and year out. You had a Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh feud, obviously professional, but anchoring those tough, nasty, gritty defensive squads in Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Myles Garrett wrecking game plans off the edge for Cleveland in every game he played in. Joe Burrow doing everything humanly possible just to keep pace down in Cincinnati, but the script got completely ripped up this offseason. Both Pittsburgh and Baltimore have new faces steering the ship. The Browns pulled the trigger on trading away their franchise cornerstone, and the Bengals actually went out and built a defense that looks terrifying on paper. Oh, man. Let's dive right into it and kick things off with... Wait for it. Gotta get our color going. There it is. The Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right. Y'all was starting things off in the Steel City this year with the official Pittsburgh Steelers season preview. Last season, the Steelers grinded their way to a 10-7 mark and snuck into the wild card round. But stepping into 2026, things completely look different in the Steel City for sure, man. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, Mike Tomlin isn't running the show. This is only their fourth head coach they've ever had in Steelers history. They love their coaches, man, and that's what it's all about. Noel, you got what do you call it? It's crazy to think that these guys have only had a few, just a few coaches in their entire being. Obviously, Mike McCarthy is the ender. But I'm sorry. Anyway, so Noel being, the oldest, Bill Cowher. Oh my gosh, I was blanking on his name. Mike Tomlin, and now Mike McCarthy. 4 coaches in 57 years. That's insane, right, guys? It's awesome to see it, though. But hey, we'll see what happens this time around. And you know what? Maybe it was time. Maybe it was best for everybody, But with that, man, I mean, just getting back to it. Look, it's crazy. Mike Tomlin isn't running the show for the first time in nearly 2 decades. It's something. Instead, they brought home veteran Super Bowl winner Mike McCarthy to take over as head coach. Let's be real though. Okay, the main mandate for McCarthy is fixing an offense that honestly hasn't cracked the top 16 in total yards since I think I saw like 2018 around there. That's insane. They brought Aaron Rodgers back for what looks like his final curtain call, and I think he's finally announced it that this is it. And they've given him some serious toys, adding veteran Michael Pittman, which is great, over from the Colts, and explosive rookie playmaker Jeremy Bernard to pair alongside with DK Metcalf, which is crazy. So on the other side of the ball, Patrick Graham comes in as defense coordinator to whip up a high-priced unit into shape after it slipped down to 26th in yards allowed last year. But between a brutal schedule and inevitable growing pains of a post-Tomlin transition, can they keep it all together? We'll see, man. To break it all down, we have here a veteran of IE Sports Radio, no longer with us as an official team member, but still here to jump in when he can. Jumping in here on IE Sports Radio. We're always happy to have this guy, man. He, of course, is the former Steelers and former Pittsburgh show host here of the Ins Report here on IE Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my good friend, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, Mr. Ralph Calise, to give you the official Pittsburgh Steelers season preview.
Hello, everyone. This is Ralph Calise, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of the sports. This is my preview for 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days for Larry B. for the Pittsburgh Steelers 2025 season and 2026 season coming up. So, as you know, I used to be the host for the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, and we talked a lot of Steelers. So, Larry graciously asked me to come on and do this video, and I'm ecstatic to do it. And let's get it going. So, we'll start off by last year, the Steelers. They finished the 2025 season with a 10-7 record. They secured first place in the AFC North, capturing their first division title in 4 years. Led by 42-year-old quarterback Aaron Rodgers, the team clinched the division in Week 18 with a thrilling 26-24 win over the Baltimore Ravens. That was the final game of the season because the season was going up and down. Despite winning the division, but the Steelers went to the playoff game under Mike Tomlin, and they lost 30-6 to the Houston Texans, which I happened to be there in person to see it. I did not stay for the whole game. I left after the third quarter. Some key milestones in last season was, of course, Tomlin's historic milestone. Week 16 victory against the Detroit Lions. Head coach Mike Tomlin captured his 200th career win, and the win also guaranteed him as head coach's franchise 22nd consecutive non-losing streak, breaking an NFL record previous held by Cowboys coach. It was Tomlin's final ride last year. The 2025 campaign marked the 19th final season under Mike Tomlin as head coach. As far as the offense, there was a good offense. The team scored 42 offensive touchdowns, the highest production since 2020, revitalized by Aaron Rodgers and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, who was no longer there. Their key wins was Week 1 at the Jets, 34-32, which I happened to be at that game. Week 16 at the Lions, aforementioned 29-24, Mike Tomlin's 200th win. And, of course, Week 18 versus the Ravens, where they won the division 26-24. Their team MVP was Kenneth Gainwell, who was not on the team no more. And their defense, the rookie of the year was defensive end, their draft pick, Derek Harmon. Pro Bowlers, Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Ben Skoranek. The offseason turned out to be, let's move on to the offseason now. It turned out to be a revamp for the three highlighted by signing Rico Dowdle, running back from Carolina, defensive line Sebastian Joseph Day, and safety Jaquan Brisker and Jamel Dean, also another quarterback. They really revamped up the secondary. After losing offensive guard Isaac Samalo, Kenneth Gainwell, their MVP, James Pierre, and Jonnu Smith, tight end. So those were the signings and the departures that really benefited the Steelers after the departures. The draft, of course, was held in Pittsburgh, and the attendance that they announced in Pittsburgh was a live draft record process. The amount of people that showed up was a record. So the storylines are in their draft is trenches first. The Steelers used their top choice, Max Ihenikor, a raw but highly athletic tackle with elite length, who only began playing football in a junior college before transferring to Arizona State with the Sun Devils. Then they doubled down by upgrading the line also by grabbing powerful Iowa guard Jennings Dunker. And if you've seen this kid, oh my God, check him out. They did some playmaker upgrades following several notable free agency departures at wide receiver. The front office selected Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama, and also they traded for Michael Pittman in the offseason from the Colts. So they definitely upgraded at wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. People are saying they drafted their quarterback of their future, but I don't believe it. In the third round, they grabbed Drew Aller from Penn State. And special teams depth was a notable get also in this draft. The fourth round pick was Caden Wetchine from Iowa. He brings elite vertical one-cut return ability, which the Steelers haven't had in a while, a good kick returner, punt returner. Riley Nokowski of the champion Indiana Hoosiers, and defensive back Dalen Everett. But there is one player to watch that they drafted, and it was with their final pick. It was a 230th pick for the Steelers, the seventh round, and his name is Eli Heidenreich. And this guy played for Navy, and boy, does he have some football skills on him. And First off, I heard that he was being compared to Christian McCaffrey, which I think is a little too much, but he's in that make of that type of player. So that was it for the draft and the signings in the offseason. We also have now, we're going to get into the 2026 season coming up. And the Steelers 2026 season features had an historic shift with head coach Mike McCarthy. As we should have went back, I should have mentioned, of course, with the new comings, Mike McCarthy was announced as the new coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers after Mike Tomlin left. And he'll hook up again with quarterback Aaron Rodgers in supposedly Aaron Rodgers' final year. The schedule contains a Week 7 game in Paris and then 4 primetime slots. And right now the projection for the Steelers is kind of low in wins. It's at 7.5 as they navigate through the tough AFC North. My season outlook and predictions is it's a new era. Mike McCarthy, as he takes over as head coach, being a fresh voice while Aaron Rodgers anchors the offense to what they anticipated to be his final NFL ride. They have an offensive boost with additions like DK Metcalf, along running core players aimed to elevate the passing game, like I mentioned, Michael Pittman and the new drafted Jeremy Bernard. And their challenges is, of course, the AFC North, which is going to be very tough. All the teams in the North have I believe, gotten better. They have games versus the Patriots at New England. They have a game on Black Friday versus the Broncos, and they are playing the Texans again. So all in all, the outlook for the schedule is very, very tough schedule. But the one thing I will say about the Steelers is if they can get a constant defensive effort every game with the guys that they have on that defense, their secondary is unmatched right now. They on paper have the best secondary in football, I believe. Joey Porter Jr. is not allowed a touchdown in the past 2 years. And they signed Jaquan Brisker, and he's got some kind of record like that too, where he hasn't allowed a touchdown in a long time. Team him up with Jalen Ramsey in the backfield, in the back of the secondary with Deshaun Elliott. And of course, you got the up front guys. You got Cam Hayward there with Derek Harmon, who's a rising star. And then you got the linebackers who are now going to be shifting around instead of being stationary. TJ Watt, Nate Herbig, Patrick Queen, and Cole Holcomb, they'll all be in different stats. So I think if the defense can come up big, and the way the Steelers scored last year, like I mentioned before, 42 offensive touchdowns with Aaron Rodgers, I honestly think Aaron Rodgers is going to be better this year. I actually think he's got better players around him. The line is much better. They have more years of service, more age. And they have the rookies there, but I don't think they're going to start right away. But the offensive line that they had drafted 2 years ago is now in their third year, so they're accustoming to that. So we'll see what happens, of course, with the upcoming season, which I am actually heading out to camp tomorrow to Latrobe, Pennsylvania, St. Vincent's College, to watch my Pittsburgh Steelers for 4 days in training camp. And the last part of this great thing that Larry does is stick it to him. It's where I brag about my team, the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North, over, as these are how I call the teams, the Baltimore Ratbirds, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Brownstains. So, hey, Baltimore, I got one thing to say. Tyler Loop missed a 44-yard field goal for you guys to win the division. You guys are supposed to win the division and the Super Bowl every year, and you haven't done that yet. All right? Remember, Steelers, 6 Super Bowl championships, 8 AFC championships, and 25 division championships. That's AFC Central, AFC North. Okay? The Browns and Ravens combined are one team because the Browns became the Ravens. And they only have 8 division championships between the two teams together. So I guess that's 16, but 8 together. And that's combining 2 teams. You guys suck. And the Bengals are the Bengals. I mean, they got a great quarterback. They got a great offense. But where's the defense? And I don't know, for some reason, when the chips are down, the Steelers always seem to beat them when it matters. So AFC North is Pittsburgh territory, black and gold forever. Forever. And that is my preview for the 2026 Steelers for Larry's 8 divisions, 8 days, IE Sports Radio, 3 and Out show. Great show. Catch it if you can. And once again, I am Ralph Calise for IE Sports Radio, formerly of IE Sports Radio. And Larry, I hope I didn't go too long. Hopefully you put the whole video in. But thank you very much for the opportunity. And let's go Steelers. And everybody have a great football season in 2026.
Wow. I mean, could you get any better? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Calise, the can we get one more applause? The Stick It To Him champion. Oh my gosh. You know, you bring a segment like Stick It To Him to have some fun with, and oh my gosh, he just went in. I mean, he's always done it. He's historically done it. Again, he's just a great guy overall. So happy to have had him a part of our network for years, and just to have him as a great friend. The dude is amazing. Ralph Calise, keep doing what you're doing, sir. You're awesome. Great stuff. And there you go, man. I mean, I love the Joey Porter stat because it's true. Hasn't allowed a touchdown in 2 years. Obviously, his father very proud because you know, not like he's a great Steeler or anything himself. So awesome stuff, and just what a job, man. Ralph Calise is giving it to us, man. Love it, love it, love it. Let's get on over though to our next team. So many teams, so little time. Let's get on over to. Well, we started out in the Steel City. Now we're heading on over to Cleveland. Oh, well, okay. Well, whoopsies. Some of you are going to get a laugh out of that. Sorry. Let's do that one more time. Sorry, Browns. All right, let's go on over to Cleveland. There we go. That's the right color for our Cleveland Browns. Well, for our official, let's make sure there's no clock on here. I don't know why there's a little clock, but there we go. For our official Cleveland Browns season preview. Now, I did not get anybody for this one, but again, let's keep things rolling. I'll give a quick little deal here for the Cleveland Browns. But look, it was a tough 5-12 campaign for Cleveland last year. Okay. And the front office decided it was time to blow up the blueprint. And you know what? That's perfect. That's exactly what was needed. Again. I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's again. All right. The massive headline, of course, was general manager Andrew Berry trading away perennial defensive player of the year, the guy that's just terrorized every offense in the entire NFL, Myles Garrett, to the Rams, in exchange for young edge rusher Jared Verse and a mountain of future draft capital. The Browns don't lose. I mean, the Rams, they could lose. I'm not saying that they're going to lose. I mean, look, actually, no, they can't lose. I'm sorry. No one loses in this one. There, I was thinking of another trade right now that we talked about. Like last week. There is no loser in this trade. Zero loser. Myles Garrett getting to the end of his career. He wants Super Bowl. He can get it with the Rams. That's a win-win. And they have the team to do it. I truly believe that team has the team to win a Super Bowl this year. Okay. Seahawks are not going to let it go. I still have them winning that division. We talked about that last Monday. But, oh my gosh. You talk about a diehard, amazing football team. Well, guess what? That team is going to do some great things. You know, the Rams are going to do some great things. So, there's that. Okay. There's that. Myles Garrett is going to go make the Rams better. Jared Verse comes to the Browns. He's like a younger Myles Garrett. He still has a lot to prove, but he's amazing, and he can turn into that for the Browns. And they got a lot of draft capital. They got a lot of great picks. They got a lot of good things going. I'm just saying this was good all around for everybody. Okay. With Kevin Stefanski out of the picture, veteran offense coordinator Todd Monken, he gets a shot as head coach, tasked with breathing some life into an attack that desperately needed a fresh voice. They tried to inject some instant energy into the wide receiver room by spending high draft picks on rookie KC Conception and Denzel Boston to join up with an upcoming tight end, Harold Fanning Jr. But the ultimate X factor for this entire team sits under center, where Deshaun Watson and 2025 fifth round pick Shedeur Sanders have been splitting reps in training camp, from what I understand, from what I've been seeing. And that battle is going to dictate the pulse of the entire season. So that's that. So we got to pause for a second, man. Take a quick commercial break, but stick around, man. We got so much more to go. That was a fun little something there in Cleveland. But yeah, right. I mean, here we go. Exactly. Just to add this, man. Big Dom, of course, our Lions fan here at iSports Radio. There is no loser, man. Both are edge rushers. Garrett's elite versus great and ascending. That was perfect. So thanks for tuning in, Big Dom. Appreciate you, buddy. But that's going to do it for the quick and dirty Cleveland Browns season preview. We're taking ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're jumping right on in to the Cincinnati Bengals. And then we're going to end off things in an interesting place for sure, man, in Baltimore. Finishing off with the Ravens and our very own Mike Pat. Stay tuned, guys. You are watching 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, the conclusion of 8 divisions in 8 days with the AFC North right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Be right back after this.
From the stadium lights to the stadium shade, the clubhouse crews, the on-field MCs, delicious park food and the summer breeze. Every voice in the game. Catch dirt and diamonds every single week. The California League coverage that you'll seek with Larry B and Freddie B running the show. Every minor league season for the latest in the California League with Larry B and Freddie B on iSports Radio. Keep that dirt flying, and we'll see you next pitch.
Let's go, y'all. Welcome back to 3 and Out right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We just finished up with the Pittsburgh Steelers with Off Khalees, and I went ahead and did my thing, talked a little bit of Browns football. You see the color has changed to Bengals orange, so here we go, guys. Without further ado, Cincinnati Bengals season preview. We got a great guest in the house tonight, man. I'm really excited for these guys because, well, they're newcomers to iSports Radio, and you know we love some newcomers. So with that, man, before we get to them, I'll give a little quick and dirty while they're still tuning in and all that. But with that, guys, we're going to talk a little bit of the Cincinnati Bengals. Look. Oh, boy, where do we begin with these guys? So Cincinnati Bengals are looking to bounce back in a major way after a very, very frustrating 6-11 year. And I don't know. That 6-11 year had Joe Burrow looking completely exasperated. Okay, I'm pulling out big words now on the sideline by December. Sucks. I feel bad for him. I really do. It was a rough go, man. Front office leadership looked hard at a defense that completely cratered last year and decided enough was enough, and I'm glad for that. I keep on going with the Bengals, man. I'm excited to talk about these guys because I feel like better days are coming. But the centerpiece of this massive overhaul was who? Bringing in a massive defensive tackle like Dexter Lawrence. Let's go. 6'5", 350 pounds. That's a big freaking dude to anchor the middle. All right. They didn't stop there. Adding Jonathan Allen, edge rusher, Boye Mafe, which is huge, and safety Brian Cook. Sorry. Brian Cook to completely flip the identity of this unit in camp. We already know that when Joe Burrow is upright and healthy, this offense hums at an elite level, combined with the league's third easiest schedule, which again, that's what I've read. That's from my notes. But the training wheels are off, and really the excuses are gone for Zach Taylor. If this revamped defense finally steps up, this team is going to be a massive problem in the AFC. And that's no knock on Zach Taylor. It's just, we've been wanting to see a lot more. And I feel that he's really, I don't know. I just feel that this team can be better. This team can be so much better. And let's see it. Let's see it happen. I want to see these guys. I want to see the AFC North be as crazy as it was years ago, So let's see it, right? So with that said, man, we actually had these crazy dudes. Man, these are great guys from the Flagrant Foul. I love it, man. The Flagrant Foul with Rich and Nate podcast put together an awesome video breaking down the Bengals outlook. So let's throw it over to them for their take on the Cincinnati Bengals season preview. And I'll see you after this. Take it away, Rich and Nate. Appreciate you guys.
Hey guys, this is Flagrant Foul with Rich and Nate. We want to thank the 3 and Out on IE Sports Radio guys for having us on. Been lifelong Browns fans, isn't that right, Nate?
Definitely.
Heck yeah. So I want to talk about our Brownies going into this year, but a few thoughts to wrap up last season. I think as we got to the end of the year, we saw a lot of quarterbacks play, right? So I think we definitely don't know what we have in Shadur yet, but I know we are both very excited to hopefully get to see him get a chance to say, hey, is he going to be the guy? If he ends up being the guy, I think potentially that puts us in a much better spot going into next year's draft and not have to solve that position. But, as things wrapped up last year, I think some highlights for me, the offensive line finished that year in shambles. We have some older guys. They were beat up. The depth wasn't there. That was definitely a low spot for the team. Bright spot, as we wrapped up the year, I think AB got the draft class right. I'm really excited as some of the young weapons. It stunk seeing Quinshawn get hurt there as in the latter part of the season, but I think he'll be back and looking good. And we definitely, on the defensive side of the ball, Carson, exciting player to watch. So that Fannin, the list goes on, but I feel good about maybe some of the rookies, if we can kind of hang our hat on anything. Is regarding our draft this year. Nate, you want to take that one? What do you think?
Yeah, I think our offseason and draft have both been very good. As you said, last year, the offensive line was pretty bad, and I think that was one of the spots that we were dreading, looking on to this year. But I think Andrew Berry did a great job getting some guys, Elton Jenkins, Zion Johnson, to name a few. So definitely excited about that. Also taking Spencer Fano in the first round, and then definitely adding to the receiver core. Jerry Jeudy was our one. He did not play like a one last year, so excited to see KC and Denzel Boston get out there and see what they can do. We've talked in the past that the corner secondary still is lacking, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to that. I think that will be the part of our defense that lets us down, and I think in the past our line and our corners and secondary have been the strong spot, so we will see. But yeah, we did add EMW from Toledo in the draft, so excited to see him back there in the secondary. Other than that, I think what they did in the offseason kind of put us in a better space than we thought we were going to be. And that's why, as Browns fans, as we always are, optimistic, but I think we're even more so this year based on those moves they've made.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think, speaking of optimism, looking at the schedule we got going into this year, I would say it's pretty weak. We have the luxury of having an easy schedule last year. We had the opposite of that last year. Realistically, Nate and I are very over optimistic Browns fans. So, we're always going to say we're taking it to the Lombardi, but let's be realistic. I think our floor, this is a 5-win easy team. I can see 10 wins on this schedule. We want to kind of average that out, a realistic view, maybe an 8-win team. But I'm not going to be surprised if we are a 10-win or higher team, kind of going through some of the easier teams with New Orleans. I think that's a dub. I think the Raiders are a dub. We historically have owned the Bengals, but that's a win there. We always accidentally mess around and pull off a Ravens Steelers win. I think that's a win there. So, I feel highly optimistic about the season. With that said, what do you think about the rest of this division, Nate?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that schedule. It's of the easiest in the NFL. So, I always say I think they're accidentally going to make the playoffs this year. I think the year following will be the real test for the new coaching staff, but I am optimistic this year. But I can also see 4 wins. As you said, we always end up splitting, with the AFC North. I think we may not have split everybody last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the Steelers and the Ravens, they got some question marks around them. Honestly, I think the Bengals probably scare me the most just because that offense is, electric as long as Joe Burrow stays alive.
It is.
And honestly, I have nothing really against the Bengals compared to the Ravens. They stole our team. And then the Steelers is just classic Browns Steelers rivalry. So we want to take them out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, we're excited about our Browns. I would say it's been a few years since I've had the excitement level that I do. So hopefully good things ahead. So anyway, we're Rich and Nate from Fragrant Foul. Catch us weekly on Spotify. We really appreciate the 3 and Out guys having us on. And everybody take care. Thanks.
Great job by Rich and Nate. Awesome, man. Let's go ahead and give these guys an amazing applause. Where's it at? There it is. Let's give these guys an applause, man. They did a great job. Must say my deepest apologies. I had these guys down for the Bengals accidentally, but I had a Bengals fan who unfortunately canceled earlier this afternoon, so I flipped over the names, and they were from another show, and so unfortunately, it kind of worked out though, because I already gave a mean Bengals, a little mean little Browns preview there, but it kind of works. We got into talking about the Bengals after that, so kind of I guess we can intertwine those two really quick. But big shout out to Rich and Nate. Thank you guys, man, for being a part of this and for being on today's show. And there you have it. Sorry about that, guys. A little embarrassing there, but again, so let's go ahead and switch it right back really fast to the Cincinnati Bengals. And again, just what a year, they had last year. Can they get better? Will it? I want to cheer for them. I want to see them get better. But, again, can they keep Joe upright? It starts there. Look better on defense now, but what will happen? You heard these guys right now talking to the Browns. They own Cincy historically. Will it happen? Will the Bengals be the ones at the bottom now? Will the Browns be that team that's like, oh crap, they're coming, man? You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, I'm excited. So let's see. A lot lays within this Bengals team. All right, guys. With that, we're gonna flip it to our final team of the season of 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. You already know it's that Bengals purple. Let's do it, man. And get on in to the Baltimore Ravens season preview, man. Ravens purple up. And well, this is it. This is the end. So, man. So again, big shout out to Rich and Nate. Big shout out to big giant shout out to all of these great people. Actually, we're going to take ourselves a quick break, you guys. Sorry, I got to stay at the door. But when we come back, we got plenty more. Well, we'll jump into the Ravens season preview right after this. Hold on, guys. For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, now we can get on to our official Ravens preview. I've been waiting for UPS today, so thankfully they came and took a package I needed to send back. So awesome, UPS, you're awesome. Appreciate you. Way to weave that into the show tonight, right? So, all right, guys, with that said, the official Ravens preview. We got a great guest tonight, of course, for our final team of the NFL for 3 and out, 8 divisions in 8 days. 31 teams down, one more to go. And here we go, guys. Oh, man, we're wrapping it up with these Bengals. Look, what do you say about this team, man? These guys are looking to shake off an injury-riddled, disappointing 8-9 campaign from a year ago. Baltimore is undergoing a massive cultural shift with rookie head coach Jesse Minter taking over. Crazy, right? He's taking the reins from John Harbaugh, man. So bringing in a fresh, aggressive, defensive mindset after working. I don't know. He's working wonders. He worked wonders with the Chargers. So offensively, they're handling they're handing the clipboard over to 30-year-old Declan Doyle, and new coordinator to digital. I'm sorry. I got caught up with my notes here. This is a new coordinator to dial up for a healthy Lamar Jackson, who looks ready to jump right back into the MVP conversation. And let's just be real, man. He's the real deal. Dude is the real deal. Lamar Jackson has been a guy that you must game plan around every single week you play him. Dude is a freak of nature. And if you're not game planning around Lamar Jackson, you're going to get destroyed. So I'm excited to see Doyle. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he's got planned for Lamar Jackson. Because a guy like him, my gosh, you could do pretty much whatever you want. So I don't know. But anyway, Lamar Jackson looks ready to jump right back into that MVP conversation where I left off in my notes here, and I completely agree. So up front, the front office finally addressed their glaring pass rush issues by signing Trey Hendrickson, which is pretty awesome, while also getting a massive boost with defensive tackle Mabuke, which is really cool. Nnamdi Mabuke returning from a brutal season-ending injury. So thank God, So let's see, man. To give us the ultimate insider perspective of what's brewing over in Baltimore, let's send it over to our Baltimore insider and DMV sports insider of iSports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, hand it on over to the one, the only, Mike Pat.
Football fans, this is Mike Pat, your DMV insider here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, coming to you on 3 and Out with our annual 8 divisions in 8 days. Of course, here to talk about the Washington Commanders. First, let's start with last season. Definitely one to forget. In DC, the Commanders suffered a key injury early on with star young quarterback Jaden Daniels going down early in the season, really missed most of the year. The defense took a major step back from where they were in 2024 when it was one of the key units that got them to the NFC Championship game. The offensive line was rocky at times, leveled out a little bit more towards the end of the season, but overall, not a great showing on their way to 5-12, definitely one to forget, and definitely one that made them kind of rethink as an organization, how are we going to approach this? How are we going to fix what we need to fix? So they went out, they were very active in free agency. Once we got to the offseason, they added a star pass rusher in Odafe Owe. They actually added multiple pass rushers as well, really kind of turned that group over. Defensive line stayed mostly intact. Linebacker, they made some moves. Had a very talented safety in Nick Cross. On the offensive side of the ball, they kept the O-line mostly intact and then went out and they added a couple of weapons. Rashad White, backup running back, good role player. Chikakonkwo at tight end, a good athletic tight end, should bring some playmaking to that group. And then in the draft as well, they had the 7th overall pick. They proceeded to use that on Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles, one of my personal favorite prospects in the whole draft. Did cause a little bit of a backlog at our inside linebacker and edge rusher group, but hey, better to have more than not enough. And then they added some depth pieces lately. Really interesting wide receiver in Antonio Williams in the 3rd round. Not a lot of draft picks, but the main one, of course, being Sonny Styles. So lots of moves, mainly on the defensive side of the ball. So what does that mean for 2026? Well, the ceiling of this team is going to be dependent on Jaden Daniels. Is he going to stay healthy? And is this offensive skill position group going to gel together? They've had a few changes. Offensive line stays mostly intact. I expect it to be just as good, if not better, especially with Josh Connerly, last year's 1st round pick, entering year 2 at right tackle. I expect him to improve. They also have Larry Tunsil, one of the best left tackles in the game. So the offense is going to be dependent on Jaden Daniels. The defense, I expect it to be rocky to start. When you make a lot of changes to one side of the ball, it can take a couple of games for the unit to gel and really come together. But the ceiling's really high with the free agents they added and with adding Sonny Styles. Really potential to be a great group if they can put it all together. So what is the ceiling for this team? The ceiling is a playoff squad. I think this is a team that could win 9 to 10 games. I don't know about winning the division outright because there are, as much as I hate to admit it, a couple of good teams in the division. But do I think this team can make the playoffs? Absolutely, especially with Jaden Daniels if he returns to that 2024 form. Of course, if that doesn't happen, and maybe, like I said, it takes a few games for the team to kind of come together, this is a team that could potentially bottom a little and maybe fall back down to that 5 to 6 win mark if they don't all come together. But I think it's a good team. They'll have the benefit of a 3rd place schedule, although in the NFC that doesn't really mean a ton because the NFC North had 3 good teams last year and the NFC West had 3 good teams last year. So they don't get a ton of benefit, but it's better maybe than most. So ceiling, playoff team, floor, probably a team that could be picking in the top 10 again next year. But speaking of those division foes, I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, the Eagles continue to suffer from the attrition of, being a great team for a long time, spending a lot of money, offensive line's getting a little bit older. Jalen Hurts, I don't know. I'm starting to have doubts about him as a good quarterback. He can run the ball. He can get you 1-yard touchdowns via the tush push. But, is this team, they've got some good playmakers on defense, but the offense, I don't know. I'm not as worried about it as I've been in years past. The Giants, yes, they went out, they got John Harbaugh, very good coach. Can't speak bad about him as he came from the Ravens. But their running back will have CTE by week 6. And this team just historically can't stay healthy. Every year it seems that they have some key players missing. Also, what was it doing with another pass rusher in the 1st round? I don't get that. You already had 4. I don't know why you needed another one. And Dallas, look, they haven't won anything since the mid-90s. So what is there to be scared about? There's no point in being scared about a team that hasn't won anything lately. So I'm not worried about them. I do think, like I said, one of those 3 teams is probably going to be good enough to win the division ahead of the Commanders. But I do think this team can easily vie for 2nd, easily vie for a wild card spot, and show some great improvement in 2026. Thank you all for listening. And for more, of course, great sports, tune into not just 3 and Out, but all of the great shows here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, again, my apologies there. That was Of course, Mr. Mike Pat is does double for us here. So, as you heard right now, a little issue out the door. So, Mike Pat does also do the Commanders. That was my apologies. But again, you guys got a double dose Commanders there, which is pretty awesome. But our boy Mike Pat, of course, like I said, does weigh in here on the Ravens. So again, my apologies. But let's get Mike Pat going here with the actual team he was covering, the Baltimore Ravens. So one more time, you guys, my apologies for that. Let's get Mike Pat up talking about the actual team he was supposed to be talking about. It's been a long night, everybody. The Baltimore Ravens. Here we go.
Football fans, this is Mike Pat, your DMV insider here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, coming to you on 8 divisions in 8 days. This time in the AFC North, we are here to talk the Baltimore Ravens. Now, last year, down year for the Ravens. They couldn't quite put it all together, had some defensive woes. Offense was inconsistent at times. Special teams was inconsistent at times. Ultimately, the team could not put it together. Had a chance entering the last week to steal the division from the Steelers, but unfortunately could not get the job done as they finished 8-9. Ironically, 9-8 would have won them the division if they had won in that week 17 game, week 18 game. Sorry, there's 18 weeks now. So an unfortunate end to the season, which of course led to the departure of head coach John Harbaugh and their offensive and defensive coordinator. So looking in to the offseason, the organization definitely saw the need for change. We got new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, younger guys, not as much experience, trying to capitalize, see if they can catch some lightning in a bottle. There was also some pretty significant roster turnover. You saw Tyler Linderbaum, Pro Bowl center. He left in free agency. You saw Pro Bowl punter Jordan Stout leave in free agency. Tight end Isaiah Likely, fullback Patrick Rickard. Lots of different departures that the team had to make up for, but it wasn't all bad. In the free agent market, they did go out and add John Simpson to help shore up the offensive guard spot, a spot that was perhaps lacking this past season. They also added depth on the offensive line in free agency, added a couple of various pieces here and there, tight end Durham Smythe, safety Jalen Hawkins, really kind of focused on bolstering the depth of the team, brought back cornerback Chidobe Awuzie as well. So then you looked into the draft. The team had a lot of picks. They actually ended up with 11 picks with their first round pick, not the first overall pick. They took offensive guard Olavavega Ioane out of Penn State, a big bruising guard who I expect to be impactful day one. They also took Zion Young in the second round, edge rusher. He should contribute early on. And then they went on a run where 5 of their next 6 picks were skill position players. They took 2 wide receivers, they took 2 tight ends, they took a running back. So they really added a lot of youth, a lot of depth to the skill position players, a lot of upside. They got a new punter to replace Stout, and then they ended in the trenches like they began in the trenches. So kind of a fun little bookend there. So what are my expectations for the season? Well, it's all going to come down to how does this new coaching staff work together? How do they coach up all of these new young pieces? Obviously, you still have Lamar Jackson. He's still one of the top 5 easily quarterbacks in the league. You've got a top running back in Derrick Henry. You've got a good wide receiver in Zay Flowers, who just got a big payday. Congratulations to him. You have Mark Andrews, very talented tight end, a hopefully improved offensive line, and a hopefully deeper defense with more depth, and the potential return of talented interior lineman Nnamdi Madubuike, which should help a lot. So expectations should be high. This is definitely a team that can win the division. They are a very good regular season team historically, but of course the key is always what do they do once they reach the playoffs. But in terms of their in-season performance, I think this team very much so can win the division. Why? The rest of the division, I'm not that scared of them. You know, the Steelers think that they're going to trot out the ghost of Aaron Rodgers' past, plus Mike McCarthy at the helm, and think that's going to work. First year without Mike Tomlin, we'll see if they can keep that consecutive winning season streak alive. Cincinnati, again, as I've said year over year, talk to me when they win a Super Bowl. Talk to me when their defense can actually stop somebody. Talk to me when they actually improve the O line. I'm still waiting for all of these things to happen. And Cleveland's Cleveland. Really is not that much else to say. Anybody who's a football fan understands that. So I'm excited for the Ravens this season. I'm excited to see all these new pieces work together. It's one of the things in the league, you lose a bunch of guys, it's next man up. But hey, for more football news, please tune in to 3 and Out regularly during the football season here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That's right, y'all. Mike Pat in the house. Appreciate you, buddy, for doing that again. Sorry for all of the craziness. Obviously, we had to have one show where everything goes wrong, right? But it's all good. Great show today. Got some things twined up in the middle with last-minute cancellations, et cetera, et cetera. And, of course, getting the wrong Mike Pat video for you guys. But, hey, you got some bonus Commander stuff there from what you guys already seen in the NFC last week for NFC East Day. So with that said, you guys, that is it for the Baltimore Ravens season preview. And since we already had our commercial during when UPS came again, because we're bound for a crazy show every now and then. So appreciate you guys for sticking with it. Let's just get right into the final weigh-in. So we're going to start things off, and I don't think this is going to be a surprise to a lot of you. If it is a surprise to you, I don't know. Maybe being a little too optimistic. I don't know. Look, I loved Rich and Nate. They were great, but I do want to say, unfortunately, I will put the Browns in the bottom, but don't trip. This is really anybody's. This is hard to say. This is really anybody's first, second through fourth. We'll see, but I give the Browns a ceiling of like 8 or 9 wins, but a floor of 4 or 5. Okay. I just don't see how you trade away a generational talent like Mike Garrett, Myles Garrett, completely turn over coaching staff, and instantly contend to be a division champion. Okay, in this brutally tough division that fast. This is kind of hard for me. Okay, Todd Monken has a full-scale rebuild on his hands between a messy quarterback situation with Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, splitting training camp reps, and a brand new defensive scheme under a rookie coordinator, right? 2026 is all about collecting snaps for young pieces like Jared Verse and Denzel Boston and stacking, picks for 2027. I see them winning, but at the same exact time, I don't know. I see him, but then again, I don't know. With that said, let's see here. I would have to go into my next one, of course, and this is kind of a tough one. I feel like this is kind of a hard one for me, but I have to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. And this isn't hard. This is just, look, I see this team with the ceiling of like maybe 10 games. That could be really good, but we'll see. I have their floor at like 8. The Bengals simply have too much offensive horsepower to stay down, but assuming Joe Burrow can actually avoid the injury bug and they keep them upright. But the real reason I've got them jumping back to around there is that they finally fixed their glaring weaknesses. The defense, they added Dexter Lawrence. They look good, alongside Allen and Mafe. Things look good, okay? But realistically, I don't know. The heat is really on Zach Taylor to deliver. Can they? I believe they can. Will they? That's a story for another day. Okay. Next up, and this is a tough one because I don't want Ralph Kalice to hate me. But look, I have the Steelers in a close second. Guys, it's a new regime. I got their ceiling at about 12 to 13 wins, maybe. The floor could be 7. Transitioning away from Mike Tomlin is bound to come with some bumps. But Mike McCarthy brings a proven offensive pedigree that should squeeze out every last drop of Aaron Rodgers in his final ride, if this is. So, look, Pittman, Bernard, I think this is going to be a great team. Patrick Graham has to fix, I don't know. There's some things here. Okay, they have to figure out a pricey defensive quickly, but I can see this team being really good. And then, of course, we have... And I know you'd think they're my team, but Baltimore Ravens, I think these guys are going to win. I think they're going to be right there. It's going to be a mix up 12 to 13 wins, ceiling, floor about 9 wins. I'm all in. Okay. On personal bounce back for the Ravens. Jesse Minter is taking over as head coach, brings an immediate spark, and Doyle should unlock some fun new wrinkles. Lamar Jackson in the passing game. More importantly, they fixed their rush by bringing in Ted Hendrickson, and Bouquet is huge. I mean, he's healthy, he's back. That seals up the front. Look, they have the coaching, the elite roster talent, and the chip on the shoulder to recapture the AFC North crown. And that's what I'm going with, you guys. That is officially it, man. 3 and out, 8 divisions in 8 days in the books. I appreciate you guys so very much for being here today, man. And just being a big part of the show. You guys are amazing, y'all. Yeah, appreciate you for being in here, Big Dom. No, I appreciate that. This has been such a fun series. And even if it was really stressful there at the end, I'm really happy that we were able to get it done. And that is that. So, till next year, you guys, make sure you tune in on Saturday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Tune in for the official drop of 3 and Out for this year. We got everything from high school to the pros, all the college stuff in between. It's going to be a lot of fun. So appreciate you all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will see you guys on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. That is going to do it for this series. I'll see you on Saturday. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless. Peace.
IA Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. 3 and out, 8 divisions in